Sup, everybody? It's your boy Grand Pooba, aka Steve, and back with E here with another episode of the Bros Podcast. We're glad to be back. We had a little health issues on my side with some allergies, so nothing crazy, but I didn't want to be sneezing and snozzing on all of y'all ears and stuff like that, so I had to wait until it chilled out a little bit. But y'all know how that goes if you have allergies. But how you doing, E? We'll start off with that.
Chilling so far, man. So good. Just watching some baseball. Just chilling on a Tuesday, Wednesday evening.
I don't need this headset, so I gotta put it back up. But yeah, man. We'll start off with some little breaking news. You guys probably already heard. Jurickson Profar from the Braves suspended for PEDs for 80 games. Initial thoughts on that, E.
Well, listen, this is gonna be a tough blow for the Braves.
Mm-hmm.
They just gave him 3 years for $42 million over the winter. Took him a little while to get that deal too, and it's almost like a shot in the foot. We're what, almost a week into the season
Yep.
and suspension already? But I mean, if you look at it, he took a drug that kind of hides like PED use, so like I'm guessing that's what really alerted them. Um, I mean, Profar broke out last year. He was like a top, if you know Profar, I mean, if you've been around baseball, you've been listening to baseball, watching it. He was like the number one prospect like 10 years ago, like 5, 7 years ago as well with the Rangers. And then like he just never seemed to hit it off in the MLB. And then last year, all of a sudden, just with the Padres, he just got all of a sudden. I mean, he hit 280, 380 on base percentage with 24 home runs.
Yep.
I mean, you were thinking this guy's like, oh, he finally broke out, but it seemed kind of weird. Age 31 breakout was like, so I mean, he was outperforming his numbers from previous years. I mean, everything was up for him. His bat speed, his hard hit percentages, his barrels were all up. Everything was up, and it was just like, oh my God, he put it together. But now we know he didn't put it together. It was just roids, man, roid rage.
Yeah. So it kind of sucks to see that because obviously the talent is there. Um, he just
Mhm.
needed to just kind of put it together. He obviously went about it the wrong way, and then it's not only hurting his career in a sense, but it's also hurting his team because his team is not
Yeah,
in a great state. They're currently 0-6 right now.
yeah,
They're in the bottom of the eighth right now, up on the Dodgers 5-3, so that they can get their first win today, but they can also lose again. But they are 0-6 in a tight, I think, East Division that's going to be pretty tight the whole year. But
hmm
this is not what you want to see on one of the favorites in the East. I mean, if you look at their lineup, I think only one person is batting over 200.
yeah. I seen that stat
So
today.
it's like Albies is batting 192, Harris is 167, Kelnick is 158, Austin Riley probably their best hitter is 115. Nick Allen only played 3 games, so I'm not gonna count him. But who else is in there? Olson batting, what is it, 190? Yeah, 190.
Yeah, something like that.
Osuna's batting 200. So it's like none of their stars or good players that they're known for are producing. Austin
Yeah,
Riley's striking out at an alarming rate. He has 11 strikeouts on 26 plate appearances. It's a little scary because he's not. He doesn't really. He doesn't take me as a strikeout player like that. So it's kind of
hmm
alarming. I don't know if guys over there are trying to do too much, but that's what it seems like. That everyone's trying to play hero ball and is obviously not working. The only one that's has something kind of going for him is Osuna because he does have 13 walks so far in the year, and that's a lot.
yeah,
So if you're at least he's getting on base, but I mean the team as a whole isn't hitting good at all. So with now Profar is like they kind of got to pick it up sooner or later because they can't wait for Acuna to come back, and by that time they're kind of going to be out of it. And their pitching hasn't been that much better either. Sale got
yeah.
slapped around, so he has like a 5.54 ERA. Grant Holmes got slapped around. He has a 7.2. Eller has a 6.7. Brummer has a 10.8. Jesse Chavez 4.5. So and then Hector Neris a 45 ERA. So it ain't looking too good for the Braves, which kind of sucks because they're obviously one of the favorites for a lot of people in the East. And
Yeah.
I guess you can say get out these ugly stints early, but at the same time, you're winless currently, and obviously the Mets are playing pretty decent ball, and everyone else on the East, Phillies are struggling as well. But this is the time, the type you want to build some ground early on. So if you do struggle in the midway season, you're not too scary and trying to fight for a playoff spot. But
Yeah. Uh, 100%. I mean,
and
it's like you're gonna say something?
the Dodgers just tied the game.
Yeah. See, there you go. That's the Dodgers being the Dodgers.
So it's like
But
they might not get that first win now.
exactly. So it's looking like 0-7. I mean, there's still a chance. But this team is pretty banged up as well. I mean,
Hmm.
you got Sean Murphy out as of February. He had the fractured rib cage, and then Acuna still coming back from his torn ACL. You got Ronaldo Lopez, who's gonna have off. I don't even know. Shoulder surgery. I'm not even gonna pronounce the medical term for it. And then you got Spencer Strider coming out from UCL surgery, Tommy John, but he has the internal brace, so they maybe you see him in June. Listen, this team is hurt right now. I mean, so I mean, it's a tough blow. I mean, their starting rotation doesn't look too great as of like what you said earlier.
Hmm.
So this team has a lot. Listen, their top five should be able to get them over a hump. When I'm talking about Michael Harris, Riley, Olsen, Ozuna, Albies, their top five should get them over a hump with decent pitching from Sale, Elder, and Spencer Sholobach. That's a tough one, but I would say that's it for the Braves. I mean, listen, it's gonna be a hurdle for them. But I don't think it's something that listen. They just need to stay 500 ball until they get Spencer Strider, Acuna back. I mean, once you get Acuna back, this lineup comes 1 through 6. You get Sean Murphy back. Now this lineup should be 1 through 7.
Right.
But we're gonna deep dive into some more struggles, and we're gonna go over to Boston for the Red Sox, and we're gonna talk about Rafael Devers, one of the game's, I would say, bright shining stars. I mean, 28 years old, and last year he put up 272 average, 354 on base percentage with 28 homers. And we know there's a lot of untapped potential when it comes to Rafi Devers. What you thinking, Steve? What you seeing right now? I mean, right now he not counting today. I mean, we'll count today in a little bit, but before
Hmm.
today, he was in 24 playing appearances. He was 0 for 20.
Yeah, and he had like what 15 strikeouts. So
Yes,
I
15
mean,
strikeouts, 0 for 20.
from what when I was watching him hit, it just looked like he wasn't comfortable. There wasn't a lot of effort there, and I don't know if it's
Mhm.
because he's not playing third base. Because sometimes to some players have noted that transferring like Giancarlo Stanton when he transferred from the outfield to strictly just DH, it took him some time to adjust. Because like when you're a DH, you're kind of only focused on hitting, and that's where only your mindset is. Whereas if you're playing the field, like you can take your mind off hitting because you got to go back and play the field. So I'm thinking it's more of a mindset thing with him right now, is where he's like, all right, I have to hit because that's literally the only thing I'm doing. So it's not
Yeah,
like he's going out there playing, making good plays. And he's like, well, at least I'm playing good defense. But right now he's just kind of playing the DH role right now, and I think that's a mental block for him because right now he doesn't look motivated by his at bats. He's swinging way out of the zone, which is uncharacteristic. He's swinging at stuff in the dirt, and he's just like olaying everything. It's not like a lot of effort in his swing, so I think it's just like a mindset thing, like or maybe he's just like I need to play third to get my mind back into like a baseball type of thing and keep my mind off only strictly hitting. So I don't know. Maybe he's just being petty and wants to play third base, and it's showing them like, hey, I can't hit. I hit better when I'm on the field and batting at the same time. So I don't know, but like I said, there was progress today. He did pick up 2 hits. One of them was a double RBI as well. Maybe that's all he needed, but
yeah,
we'll see. I don't know what are your takes on Rafi right now.
yeah. I mean, listen, Rafi, I mean, he's gonna strike out more than average. I mean, last year he was at 24 and a half as
Mm-hmm.
strikeout percentage, so it was 33 percentile in the league. Right now, if you just close your eyes and the season just ended. He's striking out 60% of the time.
Yeah.
That's not Rafi Devers. Like he usually sits around 24 to 25%, which I mean it's still a lot, it's still
Mm-hmm.
alarming, but the upside is him hitting, right?
Right.
I think you're right. I mean, going from playing every day at third base every single day, and then now you're just a DH, it takes a little bit of a mental toll. I know he only had like 15 to 20 at bats during spring training. So again, probably just getting re-ramped up
Right.
and then trying to, hey, this is still kind of my spring training, give me a couple weeks and then I'm gonna really be Ralphie Devers again. But the one thing that kind of scares me is none of his strikeouts are on fastballs.
Yeah.
But like and it's like I understand he didn't have a full spring training, but like if you look for years past 24, 23, like he strikes out. I mean, he's gonna hit fastballs, but he's gonna strike out on a lot of fastball too, and he's chasing.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I look at. But one more thing I look at Rafi Devers is the bat speed is a little down.
Mm-hmm.
Like last year, Rafi Devers, his bat speed was sitting at 60 percentile. He was 60% better than the rest of the league. And then coming into tonight, he was 30%. And his
Mm-hmm.
bat speed went down almost 2 miles per hour. I know 2 miles per hour doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're talking about baseball, which is a game of inches and centimeters, that 2 miles per hour is a lot when you're trying to catch up to 98, 99 miles per hour. So
Yeah.
that's what I look a little bit of Rafi Devers. I mean, they showed side by sides of Rafi Devers last year to this year, whether he gained some weight or not. I mean, listen, it is what it is. The one thing that I did see, through videos and everything, is that he's starting his hands a lot higher than he usually does.
Right.
So that's it can play into loading. He's a guy that, honestly speaking, where we see like some toe taps, some coils nowadays, like if you look at like Aaron Judge, maybe a little leg kick or something, Rafi Devers is someone who moves extreme in the batter's box.
Yeah.
Like he's someone who starts off late, like leaning back almost like Fat Joe and then coming in and try to hit the ball. Like that's that's Rafi Devers. I don't know how he does it. I would never be able to hit the ball the way he moves in the batter's box, but again, maybe it's just a timing thing and he'll be back. But the fastball, striking out nine fastballs so far this year is a little alarming for me.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure he'll figure it out. Hopefully, it's
Yeah.
like I said, like one of those mental blocks of just transitioning to like a more of a DH role, and then
Yes.
hopefully when he's not playing us, he can figure it out. But
Yeah.
it's not looking
Oh,
too good for their stud over there.
yeah. I mean, from one stud. I mean, Devers gonna probably figure it out. Let's be honest. Two,
Yeah.
another stud that just got paid. Their rookie who sat in. Well, I'll give you some prospect rankings. Kristian Campbell, who if you were anywhere around the phone, got extended and he's in his rookie year. Baseball America had him at number 4 prospect. Major League Baseball had him at number 7, and Baseball Prospectus had him at number 3. Kristian Campbell today signed a 8-year, $60 million extension with 2 extra club options, which it could basically go from 8 to 60 to 10 to $100 million. There's been a lot of talk about this guy in the Red Sox, I guess you say their farm system. This guy he's good. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of pop, I would say. That's gonna come. The kid's only 23. And if you look at him, he's kind of built like a stick. I mean, the guy's like 6'2", 6'3", 190. But again, it's a lot of things that can fill out, but that's not why he's even in the majors to hit home runs. I mean, this guy last year in Double A hit 362 with a 463 on base percentage. I mean, like I said, the home runs he only had 8, but again, this guy is someone who's just gonna hit the ball wherever it's pitched, singles, doubles. He's gonna steal some bags. I mean, what do you think? I mean, first year up, 8 years right away, getting him through his arbitration, signing him outright 10 years if with the club options and everything. So that will pretty much the contract is probably be $10 million per year. What do you
Right.
think, Steve?
I think it's a good move. Like you said, anytime you lock up like a young prospect like that, I think it's always a great move. Um, one because you have control over them,
Mhm.
and if need be, and if like things aren't going well, and you need to just start rebuilding again, you have that control. Like, hey, this guy is locked up for X amount of years. We can trade him and get a lot more rather than if he's not under contract and teams are, well, it's gonna be like a 1 year rental, and then they don't give up as much for a player of that caliber, especially. So I
Yeah,
think it's a great move for the Red Sox, especially with the teams they have. They've been making moves, so they're. I don't think they're in the rebuilding process anymore. They're kind of in the contending process right now.
yeah,
I still think they need a little bit more, but they're heading in the right directions with this pickup, and I know they extended Crochet,
Crochet.
Crochet as well. So they're locking up their players. So it's good to see that, especially, I mean, obviously, as Yankee fans, we don't like to see it, but I mean, it's good for baseball when teams are locking up their young players early because it shows
Yeah,
that they're willing to put that cornerstone down. So I think it's a great move.
yeah. 100%. I'm with you.
And he plays second base, which is like a weak position. So
Yeah. I mean, I love it for the Red Sox. I hate it for Campbell. I mean, you think about, nah, I mean, listen, bro, you think about 2, 3 years from now, he could have probably got double. He could have probably got
yeah,
8 for 200. Um,
it's a
but
risk though.
yeah, 100%. I think you're gonna see this a little more right now, especially this year of teams locking up their younger players. Honestly speaking, baseball, listen, cross your fingers, cross whatever, pray to whoever you gotta pray to. I, honestly speaking, they might be just heading into a lockout.
Hmm.
With as much as the Dodgers are spending, as much as teams like the Yankees, how much money the Yankees generate, they profit year in, and then they still have to funnel some to the lower teams like the Tampa Bay Rays and the Athletics. It's not like the Yankees keep every single cent. They have to give some down, and that's how revenue sharing works. They don't keep every cent of their revenue. They have to share it with amongst the teams, and I think teams are really starting to be annoyed about that. And I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of teams happy with the Dodgers as well as much as they're spending, especially with the deferrals and all that stuff. So I think players are gonna go get some money
Yeah,
before the lockout begins, just to make sure that they're getting paid.
yeah. I just feel like, especially for the young guys, it's a risk willing. Like, I'm obviously a top prospect now, but 2 or 3 years now, the league can figure me out, and I can kind of fall off,
Yeah,
and then end up being on a league minimum. So it's like, I mean, they're all pretty young. How old you say he was?
he's 23 or
Yeah, so
22,
6 years from
22.
now, he'll be hitting like 29, 28, about it in the 30s. So he'll still get a pretty big contract if he's
Yeah,
performing the way he should be. So I think it's a great move. Solidify you, get your cheese now. If you play good, become an all-star, superstar, you're gonna get paid regardless. People are gonna pay for those 30 to 36 years, especially playing second base. So I mean, like I said, it's a weak position in baseball in general. So I'm pretty sure if he is the stud we think he is, he'll be fine.
yeah, 100%. And then the Red Sox, they weren't done. They
Mm-hmm.
went up 2 days ago, sorry, on the 31st, and they went up and inked up their prize left-handed pitcher who they got from the White Sox this offseason for 6 years and $170 million with an opt-out in 2030. I mean, my personal opinion, this is another absolute steal for the Boston Red Sox. I'll get into the health part in a little bit, but this is an absolute steal. And the only reason why I say that is if you look at another left-hander, and that's how the market usually goes, left-hander to left-hander, right-hander to right-hander. Max Fried just got 8 years for 218 from the Yankees with a $20 million signing bonus. And then you look at Crochet, who literally got 6 years for 170. So less years, about 50 to $60 million less for the Red Sox. I think this is an absolute steal for the Red Sox. Again, another honestly speaking, I would say this is gonna, to me, an A+ move. Now, on the flip side of that, to play devil's advocate and to because I'm not a Red Sox fan, to kind of be a penis to them. But the only thing that scares me, honestly speaking, about this deal is health wise, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Crochet is lights out. If you looked at him tonight, today he pitched 8 innings, allowed 4 hits, 8 Ks, 1 walk. I mean, he looked tremendous tonight. The only thing that I sit back and I worry about Crochet is innings.
Yep.
Can his arm handle a full season? He hasn't had a last year he pitched the most innings. It was 146.
Mm-hmm.
The year before that in 23, he only pitched 12.
Yep.
Didn't play in 22. In 21, he only pitched 54.
Yep.
So outside of last year, his most innings pitched was 54, and he was 22, and that was in 2021. So again, this year you'll probably see him go to like 190 because you have to bump guys up 50 innings per year. Ah, I get scared of the arm, and I, I don't I, I don't like saying I don't want to say it. I don't like saying it, but you know what happens when someone gets goes from 12 innings to 150, and then the next year they want to throw 200, and then the year after that you got to throw another 200.
Mm-hmm.
The arm is going to break down. And that's what I don't want to happen, even though I'm a Yankee fan. Like, I know I said I'm a Yankee fan, but honestly speaking, I don't want to see players get hurt. Like, I want to see every team 100%, and then whoever wins, wins at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I love baseball. But I get scared of going from 12 to 146 to 200 to 200. What happens after that?
Yeah. I'm like your favorite phrase. You hit the nail on the head. Like there's nothing more scarier than that health issue with him, and then especially not having those innings behind him. So it's like,
Yeah.
I feel like I would personally speak, just put him kind of on an innings limit in the beginning of the season, so you have him for that back end. I forget who. I think it was for Otani. They did it for when he first came out, and it was one of these other rookies that I can't remember who it was. It might have been Strider or someone like that. That when they first came up, they were kind of on the innings limit,
Yeah, I
and
know. Well, I know if you want to go back a little further, they did it with Strasburg as well.
right. I mean, it's been done before, and it's been very beneficial, especially someone who has been hurt already for arm
Mhm.
problems. Um, yeah, I mean, otherwise it's a good deal because you
Yeah,
know when
100%.
when he's on top of the game, on top of his game, he's pretty much lights out. But again, it's that risk factor that you kind of worries about you, but you did get him on a deal, so I mean, I guess you kind of have to deal with it if it happens. But like I said, I think they should do some type of innings limit or pitching or pinch count
Yeah.
per start or something like that for the beginning of the season, just so you have him at the end. Because if they make playoffs, he's gonna have to pitch more, and
Hmm.
obviously, sometimes when players that don't have that innings leverage behind them or that weight behind them, towards the end of the season where you see a drop off, and obviously if you're competing for a playoff spot, that's what you don't want to happen. But yeah, that's what I feel about on Crochet. And I do have some breaking news. E. If you want to guess what happened in the Dodgers Atlanta game,
Dodgers won.
yep, and it was your boy Otani walk off home run.
Were they 0-7 now?
Yeah,
Damn, what the fuck?
I was,
I feel like every time we do a podcast, either Quentin Grimes goes off, and the last podcast over the week Friday over the weekend,
yeah,
Mookie walked it off.
yeah,
Like I hope this is not a
yeah.
reoccurring thing.
I don't know. I was just like, while you were talking, I was just like, let me just check the score, and then I look and it says, I saw a tweet like before I even opened my phone. It said tweets and they're like, and good night, and it was a picture of Otani. I'm like, ain't no way he walked it off. So I just clicked and I just saw he walked it off.
Oh my god.
But yeah, Otani walks it off on the Braves to put them deeper in the hole of 0-7. But yeah, Crochet to the extending with the Red Sox, great move on their part. Good deal
Yep.
all around. So they
Yeah,
locked up two
100%.
corners pieces there. So they're looking good, solid for the future.
Yeah, 100%. And the injury, sorry to backtrack a little bit, the injury that took Crochet out in 2022 was Tommy John.
Yep.
So he's already gotten it once. So listen,
Oh.
great move, 100%. I think he's great. I think he is an ace. I think he proved that last year. He was on my fantasy team, and he did amazing. I think he'll carry that going into the season. I think I agree with you. I want to see them slow. I mean, he didn't show it today. He threw 8 innings
Yeah,
today.
no.
I want to see them slowly bring him into the air. But listen, uh, They got doctors, they got all that stuff. They can handle that stuff. I have full faith in them. But going into another deal, we're gonna go across town from East Coast to West Coast now, and we're gonna go to Jackson Merrill.
Hmm.
I mean, listen, this was a weekend. This was a week of just extensions, extensions, extensions. Jackson Morrow agrees with the San Diego Padres, 9 years, $135 million, with a 10th year. I believe it's a club option for the 10th year for 30 million that can flip to a player option if he finishes top five and MVP finishes. One of those weird things that they like to throw in
Yeah.
and some weird stuff. Um, but 9 year, let's go base. We're not gonna count the 10th year. 9 year, 135 for Jackson Merrill. We spoke about him very highly a couple weeks ago. What you think in 9 years?
Like I said, I love it. It's one of those things where he's super, super young, super talented. Like
Hmm.
he's like one of the best hitters on the Padres, and you have Tatis, Machado, and Bogarts, and a whole bunch of other people in that lineup, and we kind of talk about him more than the others, which is insane because Tatis was a superstar, and when he came up, it was like he was the hot topic, and now he's kind of taking the backseat to Jackson. So I love it. He's a great defender. So he's a
Hmm.
very elite defender, and he's very elite at hitting already. He's batting 417 right now with a
Yeah.
1.152 on base percentage, a 708 slugging. He has 2 homers already. He's only struck out 4 times out of the 24 at bats. 8 RBIs, a double, 10 regular hits. He's been caught stealing once, which wasn't his fault, but whatever. Um, but he is a stud. I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's super early in the season, and players like that usually drop off at the end. But even if his hitting drops off, his glove in the outfield is so elite that I, you can kind of you can struggle here and there. But I think it's a great corner piece. They already have locked up Machado and Tatis and all that stuff. So I think
Hmm.
this is a very scary team going move forward. He took some shots at bigger contract players, so
I'm so.
so he took he took some shots which I love. Like he just wants to win and I love it. And then even when Machado was getting interviewed about it, he was like, "Hey, leave the kid alone. We're focused. He wants to focus on winning and playing the game. Like he's not worried about these crazy contracts or whatever." Like so I like what they're building over there. I love the signing. He's super young. A player like that, you kind of have to lock up right away because you don't want him playing against you. He's that much of a threat, and he's super young, like I said. So I think it's great on the Padres, and it makes them very scary in the future, knowing that you're gonna have him and Tatis for quite some time.
Yeah.
In the outfield, 2 cannons of arms, and it's gonna be scary.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. I mean, I think this one out of all of them kind of surprised me the most.
Hmm.
And the only reason why was because, I mean, it was reported. I mean, listen, reports can be false. Take
Right.
always sometimes you gotta take them with a grain of salt. But it just seems like the Padres wanted to offload contracts this offseason. And honestly speaking, that's why it surprised me. Yeah, we're talking about offloading Cronenworth, they talk about Bogarts, but you're not no one's gonna take Bogarts contract. They're in the offseason. I'll get a little bit into Bogarts later on. They wanted to trade Michael King. I believe this is the last year, or Dylan Cease as well. They were trying to offload some contracts. So this one kind of took me aback. I was like, whoa, okay. I love it, but I thought you guys were not trying to spend money.
Right.
So, I mean, listen, not all teams can be the Yankees and not be out of loop. Sure. So listen, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, his birthday, yeah, his birthday's in a couple weeks. So happy birthday to him, which is April 19th. I guess he's getting his big contract. But 100%, I mean, I love this kid.
Hmm.
Like we said this a couple weeks ago. This kid is money. He could be up bases loaded 2 outs, and he's the person I want up on his team.
Right.
I love me some Tatis. I love me some Manny Machado. But this kid he was money last year. And every situation, every pressure situation he came up, he came through.
Yeah.
He is, honestly speaking, And listen, I know he only got 1 year in the league. He batted 292 with a 326 OPS, 24 home runs, 16 steals. His OPS was 826. Money for first year money. He is a true 5 star. I mean, 5 tool player, not 5 star. Sorry. He could hit. He could field. He's got a nice arm. He has speed,
Yep.
and he got some pop.
And he's hungry. That's the most important part. He's
Yeah,
hungry.
and he's hungry, and he's only 21, turning 22. And last year he put up 24 home runs with 16 steals. He could be a 20, 20, 30, 30 guy. Like I said, he's only 21, 22. He's gonna get that grown man muscle, coming up. But I mean, listen, I love this move.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't think there's something in the field that this guy can't do. I mean, honestly speaking. Um, and I mean, he's playing for a team that's right now undefeated. They're 7-0.
Oh, I just want to get to that.
Um, it 7-0 to make it, or 8-0?
7-0.
7-0. And like 7-0 right now. And honestly speaking, looking at the teams, listen, the Dodgers are number one, right? So you need to look across the league. Who's number two? And honestly speaking, in the NL West, this it doesn't go further than Jackson Merrill's team, and I think this is the number two team
Yeah.
right now in the West. I mean, you Darvish is hurt, yes, fine, whatever. But your top two, you're going King, and then Michael King, Dylan Cease, and I mean, they're 3 through 5 right now is a little right? But Nick Pivetta looks different right now. I
Hmm.
mean, he's pitching harder. His breaking stuff is breaking more. I mean, listen, this is what pitchers do, right? And we're gonna get into a torpedo thing in a little bit. Uh, but right, like these pitchers, they have advanced cameras that look at spin rate and all that stuff, and
Right.
they have good bullpen. They have Robert Suarez, Jason Adams, Adrian Moran, Yuki Matsui. They got Wandy Peralta. If you know anything from the Yankees, this guy was money for us too. And oh yeah, they're just sitting on Yu Darvish. They might not get Musgrove back. They're sitting on Matt Wardon, who will probably come back. I mean, he's has an oblique issue. So it's two starters right there. One of the starters was good for them last year as well, and Wardron. Yu Darvish, I mean, that's elbow information. Anything around the elbow, you start praying. But whatever.
Yeah,
If he comes back, I mean, he's money too, man. I mean, what do you think on this team's chances
I think
on
they're
dethroning the
actually.
Los Angeles Dodgers?
I think there's, like you said, the only thing that worries me is the pitching. But as you see now, their pitching isn't doing crazy good. They're doing pretty good. Like it's not bad. It's not great. It's pretty
Mhm.
average, and they're still winning games. So that's a good thing because Dylan Cease and Michael King are gonna figure it out and start pitching lights out baseball again. And once the other pitchers come back, they'll be sitting pretty. So for their pitchers not to be what they are normally are, and a little bit of struggles here and there with the pitching. I know Dylan Cease gave up quite a few home runs already. So did Michael King, and he's getting hit pretty hard. But I know Michael King had the walk issues his first start too. But once they figure it out, and if the hitting is gonna hit the way they're hitting, this team is gonna be pretty much contending for that first seed in the West, that
Mhm.
first place in that West with the Dodgers. The only issue is the Dodgers are so deep, like they can lose players and just replace them like if nothing happened, which is the most frustrating part. As but
Yeah.
that's just the luxury they have. I mean, that's the team they built, so I mean, good on their part. So that's the only issue with dethroning them is the Dodgers are gonna have to beat themselves, which doesn't happen. As you can see today, they were down 5-3, and then it was tie game, and then Otani walks it off, and then the other night it was the same thing. Mookie Betts walk off. So it's like they have a lot of people on the Dodgers team that just have that clutch factor in them,
Yeah.
and they just make the plays that they have to make when they need to make them. So if the Dodgers aren't beating themselves, it's gonna be hard for the Padres to do it. But I think if there is a team to do it, it is the Padres. The Dodgers said it last year during their after they won the World Series that the Padres were the team to beat, which
Yeah.
honestly speaking, they gave them a run for their money. Besides, the Mets played them well as well too. But it was the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers were more scared of the Padres than any other team in baseball, and it goes to show why. Is because that lineup is very very scary, and with the
Hmm.
addition of Jackson Merrill, who is as hungry as he says he is, and he shows the heart. He plays hard, and then you have Tatis, who's looking like Tatis is like fully back. And then once Machado gets it going, and hopefully Bogarts can figure himself out. But if that happens, we can talk there. It might be a good 7 game series there come October, which I would love to see. But yeah, I do think they have a chance. I don't. If I had to guess, I would say the Dodgers beat them out at the end of the year. But I
Yeah.
wouldn't. It would not surprise me if the Padres end up somehow getting that first seed. It would like I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, 100%. I mean, I know we highlighted the Padres, but the Giants are 5-1,
Mm-hmm.
and the team we're about to get into right now is the Arizona Diamondbacks, which they're 4-2. They today extended Ketel Marte for 6 years and $116 million.
Yep.
I mean, listen, me and you, we both love Ketel. I mean, he's a amazing hitter.
Oh,
He it feels like he gets a little better every year. It almost seems like. Um, but what do you think about that deal? I mean, he's 31 years old, so 6 years will probably get him to around 37-ish years old. What are you thinking? Switch-handed bat?
again, love the move. Again, it's at a weak position in the MLB right now at second base. He's proven, what you're gonna get. He can hit from both sides, like you said. He runs the bases really well. He steals some bases. He has pop, and he always flies under the radar. Like he's always been a really really good player, a very
Yeah,
all-star type player, star type player. He's obviously not a superstar because he doesn't get that exposure that he deserves, but he's always top in the league at something. Like he's just always
yeah,
there. So I'm not sure why is it that he just flies on the radar. I don't know if it's because he's a switch hitter that hits for pop sometimes and is on the smaller side and plays, like I said, second base. But he probably is the best second baseman in the league. So, and he
mhm,
does a lot for that lineup. That lineup is very annoyingly good, just because they all
yeah,
just hit the ball and run really really fast. Besides like maybe two players on their team, but they're all just fast and just hit the ball for contact. So that's what, and it just extends that lineup as obviously the Yankees saw because we lost to them 2 days in a row now, but whatever. But yeah, I think it's a great move on the Diamondbacks. They were the number one offense in the league last year, so why not? Like, and I think he's a definitely a table setter. So love the move. Obviously, you're gonna have him there for a little longer, but the DH role is a thing in the NL now. And like I said, he plays second base, so it's not an exhausting position as if it was like shortstop or somewhere in the outfield, which he doesn't play the outfield anymore. But like I said, great
yeah,
move, playing second base, and he puts the ball in play. He doesn't. I don't think he strikes out too much, but I think it was great on their part.
yeah. I mean, 100%. I mean, just to answer your question, he is 72 percentile in K rate, which is a way better than league average, which is about 18%, which
Mm-hmm.
is amazing. I mean, he's another guy who just I mean, he doesn't run nearly as he used to. But he's I would say 4 tool player, 5 tool-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he hits the ball. He's always. I mean, last year he had 36 home runs. This year he has. I don't even want to say it, man. This guy. Knock on some wood. Hopefully it's not tomorrow. He has yet to home run. But I mean, listen, he's still batting 304 this year to start the year in 28
Right.
plate appearances. But I mean, like you said, he's money. I mean, there was an interesting stat today. I was trying to find it as we were speaking, but I can't find it. He is top three in NL WAR over the last 3 years, and he
Really?
shares that with Mookie Betts, and then I forgot the other player.
Yeah, I heard it too. I don't remember the other player either, but
Yeah, it was a stat that I heard today. I was trying to look for it real fast, but yeah, I mean. again, the only reason why I say this guy probably doesn't get as much coverage is because he played in Arizona, which I guess. But I mean, yeah, so this guy's literally a easily top 20 player. We can start speaking about 15 and 10 if you
Yeah.
really want to get into it. But that's how special this guy is. And he plays for a team that's very, very under the radar good. And the only reason why they weren't deeper into the playoffs is because they had outside of Zach Gallen subpar starting pitching. And I think this year with Corbin Burns and Zach Gallen being your two-headed dragon in the top of that rotation, which with pretty much the same offense, you're just swapping in Josh Naylor
Yeah, pretty much.
for Christian Walker. And like if that can probably be better for them as well. I mean, a left-handed bat in that stadium, I mean, could be nice.
And
So, yeah, talk to me.
no, I was gonna say it's very very exciting stuff there. And then, like you said, the two bullpen pieces in the back they have there pretty
Oof,
nasty with Puck and
oof,
Martinez and even
Justin Martin.
Kraft.
Oh,
Yeah, they got a pretty good bullpen. Their bullpen is really scary as well. I know
yeah,
their pitching besides Gallen and Burns isn't all that great, but bullpen wins games too. So, and that's gonna be
100%.
a tough bullpen to get past. But yeah, man. So I said the NL West to me it's still
Mm-hmm.
a two man race, but like I said, it wouldn't shock me if the Diamondbacks come out of soaring out of nowhere. But it's definitely a two man race.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, we're gonna talk about the team that they versed today, the New York Yankees, and we're gonna talk about, of course, Torpedo Bats. Honestly speaking, the Yankees were playing and Michael K just, they're talking about the bets that they made and all that stuff. Honestly speaking, I'm gonna go out there and say it, and it's not just because I'm a Yankee fan. Understand when I say this, it's good for the game of baseball. As long as it's in the rule book, as in whatever the inches, I think it's 2.61 from the diameter, whatever. Honestly speaking, if you look at the turn that the last 10 to 15 years baseball has made for pitching alone with these hyper cameras and all that stuff, like you're seeing guys go pitch 92 one year, then they're throwing 95, 96 the next year, and their ball is spinning way more, and they're getting more extension on their fastball and breaking balls. Some of these pitchers are virtually impossible to hit.
Yep.
So the fact that finally that the batters get some type of advantage, and it's not even something crazy. I think, listen, baseball is a sport where everything is going to average out at a certain point. You're off, you're hitting 600 with 10 home runs with 25 RBIs in the first 3 weeks. Yeah, you're going to go into a slump. That's the baseball season. There's highs, there's lows, and then some way, somehow, you're going to find a median. So like I said, I don't think this is anything crazy. I think you will see some guys, honestly speaking, be better hitters to a certain degree, yes, but I don't think it's going to take a C player into an A plus player that's going to be a Hall of Famer one day. I don't see it. I know on social media there was a lot of people saying, "Oh, well, it's the Yankees, of course," and it's just like, no, these bats are being tested probably a year ago with the Chicago Cubs. That's what Cody Bellinger was saying, but no one really felt comfortable in using it into a game because it's a bat, man. Like if you're swinging a bat, you're probably gonna stay with the bat for the rest of your life once you make it to the MLB. So, I mean, honestly speaking, I have no issues with it. I think it's good for the game to see more technology. And baseball is a very sport that's very like, no, we can't do this because baseball's been played since the 1800s. Grow up. There's a pitch clock now. There you go.
Yeah, I agree with some of the things you said. I do think it is finally one of those things where it's beneficial for the hitters. Like they actually can adjust somehow. Like you said,
Yeah.
some of these guys, like I think as the years go on, like the relief pitchers and starting pitchers are just throwing harder and with more movement. So it is
Hmm.
hard. It's not an easy thing to do is square up a baseball. It's like one of the hardest things to ever probably do in sports. But but yeah, the only thing I would say I definitely think it's an overreaction. It's been 6 games, So I mean, I don't know
Literally.
how y'all are gonna judge off 6 games. And I know it was the big thing with the Yankees hitting like 13 home runs in 2 games, but I think the Brewers, I forget who they played right after us, but they got ripped just as bad.
Yeah, they lost 10-2 the next day.
So I was just like, and then CC, I know CC Sabathia talked about it too. It was like those pitchers were down the middle.
Hmm.
So I was like, I don't like. It's not like these guys are hitting the ball off the floor or like some crazy pitch. Like these pitchers were literally down the middle and they're just smacking the ball over the fence. And then just like Aaron Boone said as well, it's like the bat is made for the player, the specific player. So just because you have
Hmm.
this new bat doesn't mean everyone's gonna get the same bat and just start whacking home runs over the fence. It's like no, there's analytics involved with it, just like analytics with every type of different pitcher. There's different
Hmm.
spin rates for different pitchers, how they hold the ball, how they throw the ball, how they wind up the ball. Everything is just different for everyone. So I don't think it's gonna have a huge impact like people are overreacting to. The only thing with me personally, I would say my issue with it, it does I feel make hitters more lazy and more because they don't like if they're not getting quick hands on the ball. It's like oh I can just move this down and it can make up for my hand speed not being as quick.
Hmm.
That's the only thing that I don't like is just like I feel like hitters are gonna be like, oh, I'll just get a bat made for the way I swing currently and not change anything. So that's only my caveat to it. Is it a big deal? No, because if they're gonna hit the ball, it's whatever. Offense is always good in baseball. As as we know, the steroid era was the best thing in baseball, even though there was a ton of people cheating. But
Yeah.
it brought attention to the sport. It was the peak of the sport is when home runs are flying out of the parks. That's
Yeah.
just it's just a matter of the fact that is what it is. People want to see offense. Yes, I personally love a great pitching duel, but that's me.
Yeah.
That's not the I would say the general population of like not the people that are super into baseball would like a good pitching duel here and there. But like an average fan wants to see some home runs. They want to see some action. They don't just want to see strikeout or a one-run game. They want to see some. They want to see the ball being hit, basically.
Yep.
So I think it's good for baseball. I don't think anything's gonna happen of it. Like I said, it's way too early to say like, hey, shouldn't be allowed. Um, it's kind of like the sticky situation. Like it was tested for a while. Like people were using it for a little bit too crazy amount of much, and they were using crazy stuff, and it got out of hand. This
Hmm.
is just they're not doing anything special to the bat. They're just moving stuff that's already in the bat, either down or up, depending on the hitter. So it's nothing crazy. I think it's overreaction. Maybe 2, 3 years from now, we'll have a different conversation depending on how it goes. But I think, like you said, it'll be fine. You still have to hit the baseball. It's not like the bat's gonna hit it for you, so
Exactly.
it's not an easy thing to do. So again,
Yeah.
definitely an overreaction. I know a lot of uh, like ESPN and around the horn were talking about it, and there's like it's good for baseball. Offense is good for
It
baseball.
is.
Don't touch it. If you react to it, then you kind of you already said it was good. Don't just leave it where it's at.
Yeah.
If I'm MLB, I
100%.
just I don't touch it. We already said it was good. It's legal. If it gets out of hand, then we revisit it. But like I said, I don't
Yeah.
like I don't think not everyone's using it. There's people using it who are struggling. So
Francisco Lindor.
I didn't want to say names, but yeah, there's a ton of people using it struggling.
He's not the only one, but yes.
Yeah, and then yeah,
Uh,
I think it'll be
yeah,
all
I
right.
just yeah, I think my biggest issue with it, it's my biggest issue with baseball in general. Like, I mean, listen, we both grew up on baseball,
Mm-hmm.
but baseball is not a sport. I would say they're getting better now with Manfred being the commissioner, but baseball is not a sport where evolution is ever good for some reason.
Yeah.
They want to play the same game as it was in the 1800s. Like you would hit a home run and you're not allowed to celebrate. Keep your head down and run the bases. Like, come on. They put a pitch clock to make the game faster, and people had an issue with it. Like, listen, I can sit down and watch a 4 hour Yankee Red Sox game, but how are you gonna bring viewers in that don't watch baseball for 4 hours? Like these kids just TikTok all day. Like, how are you gonna bring that fan into baseball? if the game is 4 hours long. So that's always my biggest issue with baseball is they don't like change. So
No, I agree.
listen, sometimes change is good.
I agree. Like you said, we can sit through a 3 4 hour baseball game, but like if you have kids that are young kids, especially, they're not gonna want to sit to a 3 4 hour baseball game.
Yeah,
They're gonna want to run around and do some stuff. So, but if it's like I said, if the offense is flying, balls are flying out the park, you may keep them in for those 3 to 4 hours now. Now that we're seeing some action,
yeah,
but like I said, pitchers duel or pitchers just sitting on the mound taking 30 years to throw the damn ball. Some people are not gonna like that. I forget who
yeah.
was pretty famous for doing that, but it was just like, just throw the ball. And then picking off
Oh,
like
yeah.
17 times, it was just like, it was just too much. So
Yeah.
I think it's headed in the right direction though. So we'll see.
Yeah, 100%. Well, listen, I'll end this with a little shout out. Listen, I think Rob Manfred over the last couple years been doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
But that does it for both of us. Hopefully this one was a little shorter. I mean, we did a lot of we sat into some baseball today. Listen, we'll probably get into some NBA, a little bit of the playoff race.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 8, we'll probably dig into some baseball as well as that. With episode 8, will probably be baseball and some basketball, unless something crazy happens. If I'm not mistaken, I gotta double check if there's a fight this week. I'll double check that. I know something got announced on the UFC's end, but that pretty much does it for me. Steve, you want to take us away?
Yeah, I was trying to think. I know the Sean O'Malley fight got announced, but
Yes.
I think that's in June, if I'm not
Yeah, yeah,
mistaken.
that's what got announced. I think there's a fight though this week. I gotta
Is
double
it?
check it.
It might be Oliveira, maybe.
I could check.
I don't know, but yeah, like you said, we'll touch on some basketball. Honestly speaking, it's kind of the rest your superstars week, kind of right now. Like if you're in the playoffs, not a lot of superstar players are playing, which I hate, but I mean, kind of is what it is. You got to rest your players. But yeah, we'll get into basketball. We'll hit up some playoff implications, see how teams are doing, who's performing, who's not performing, who's in trouble, and who's looking pretty. And then we'll probably hit some
Excuse me.
end of the season awards maybe, if y'all are interested in that. I know E's improvement player of the year or most improved player of the year already. He said it a few times. If y'all can guess it, y'all been paying attention. If not, well, y'all haven't.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to all the people that have been liking the video. It means a lot. People that have been commenting their questions. We see you. I know there was a basketball one there, but we'll answer it on the next one because it
Yes,
doesn't make
sir.
sense to answer it here. But yeah, baseball season's back. Super excited. And then
The U
basketball is
sorry,
playoff time.
there's a UFC fight today, this on Saturday, but it's not like a big one. UFC 314 is the week after, April 12th. So that one's gonna be Anderson Volkanovski
Oh.
versus Diego Lopez in the main event for featherweight, and then you have co-main event Michael Chandler versus Patty
Oh,
P.
that's gonna
Yeah,
be a good one right there.
I think Michael Chandler's gonna walk him, but whatever. But yeah,
Oh
that's
no,
UFC in
Patty,
2 weeks.
Patty's a little scary. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll see. Yeah,
But yeah, that does it.
yeah, we'll catch y'all on the next one. Again, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you guys comment whatever you guys want us to talk about. I know we've
Oh,
had some requests for guests already. Uh, I'll figure out how to work that on this. So, because we only have a 2 panel video thing right now, but we do have requests of people wanting to come in and sit in the pod with us. So, exciting stuff. Can't say names because that would ruin it.
song of the day. We didn't do it last episode.
Oh, okay. I have my
I'll go
phone pulled
first.
up.
I'll let you look it up real quick. Honestly speaking, I just opened up Spotify and I'm gonna go with the song that was playing when I was driving. That is Kendrick Lamar, Love,
I don't want
off
to
his
play
damn
this.
album. It's a good song. Love that song.
I almost played it.
Love me. Dum, just love. Come on,
Uh,
hit me with something.
I'm gonna go with some Yay, Gold Digger. That's what came up. I just hit shuffle. Don't blame me. Someone's a gold digger.
Don't blame him.
But yeah, man, that wraps up this episode. We'll catch you on the next one. Uh, yeah, hopefully the Braves win a game on this by the time we hit this next episode. If not, then they're in trouble. All right, we'll catch y'all.
Yes,
We're
sir.
out.
Peace.
Peace.